This is the Morning Swim Show for Friday, April 30th, 2012. I'm your host, Peter Busch, in the Phoenix Monitor today. We're talking to the men's NCAA Swimmer of the Year. He's Tom Shields, and joins us right now in the Phoenix Monitor from Berkeley, California. Tom, welcome back to the show. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Oh, still a horse from the meet?
Yeah, just a little bit too much cheering still.
Tell me what it feels like to split 43.5 in the fly.
It felt like a 100 fly. Giles is out there. I knew that, that we had won the 200 free relay that night, that Martine had taken the 2 IM. And we were walking out, and I was like, you know what, guys, like, if these guys can do that, like, we can pull together, and, like, this race is ours. And, like, that was just my thought, and I was just wanting to carry the team's momentum into the water and just show who we were, and I think that worked out well.
Did it feel like you found an extra gear, or did you not realize you were going that fast?
A little bit of both, I guess. I think my underwaters are finally coming together, especially on the first 50, from what I want them to be, especially on that relay. I can carry a lot more momentum into the water. I have trouble going from a flat start and going off like really fast. So the relay start aspect of it really helped me there. And just I've been working on just keeping my rate just crazy high. And I think so that I knew that was working, but I still thought I was just like 44 mid to low, not anything crazy like that.
Okay, did you say you're finally getting your underwaters to where you want them? Because that is a scary thought to everybody in college swimming who's seen you for the past few years.
I mean, if you take an honest look, especially at my 100 back in 2011, my first 2 walls, they're really nothing special. Like, Eric destroys me, and like so this year I really wanted to focus on, the first part of that race. I know the 75 wall is going to be there, but that 25 and 50 wall, I really wanted to work on amping those up, and I think that is what's been going better.
Okay, now you do make a point there, because you seem to get the most separation on the last wall. You certainly did that on the 100 backstroke this year. It was pretty close until that final 15 meters when you kicked out and were about a half a body length ahead. But do you actually go faster, or is it just, that's where you get the separation from everybody else?
Yeah, I just try the same hard on every wall, the same amount of hard on every wall, and that just ends up being the one that I'm able to be good at. And so the way that I've thought about it through up until now is like I don't feel like I'm really fast at underwaters. I just feel like I'm really good at the third and the fourth and the fifth, and that's where it's come from. And now this year I I think I've succeeded in moving towards more of being faster underwater, and I'm happy with that. I mean, that's just a goal that I set and achieved, and it was fun to do.
Can you explain what kind of training goes into that? I think a lot of people will just think this guy's naturally talented underwater, but because you're able to do it on every wall, including towards the end of the race when other guys are starting to come up sooner, I mean, there's got to be some sort of intense training that allows you to do that.
Yeah, I think there's a give and take. Like, I can't sit here and be like, oh, it's like, well, I can't describe natural ability. I don't have that, but I can explain what's happened in my life. And I think what more than natural ability, it's just like time spent. Like it's water. We're land animals. We're like meant to walk around and be in this, and be able to move sideways. And in swimming, that doesn't exist. It's it's just like that direction. And I've spent my whole life, more or less doing that. Like I never I surfed a lot, but more than that, I body surfed. And at the end of the wave, at the end of trying to catch a wave, if you're not in it and you're body surfing, you can just kick forward, throw your arms forward and do a couple dolphin kicks, and I've been doing that since I was 4. And I just feel like just knowing and understanding the movement is the most important thing. So watching video of yourself, watching video of myself rather, change this, change that, get my lower back more flexible, strengthen up my abs, just get more general body awareness. Learn how to do a handstand, stuff like that. I just think it's just all together. And then as far as training actual underwaters, you're gonna have to ask Dave, because I just do what he says. I do, there's a couple drills that we work on, and some crazy sets that we do, but I don't know how they work, so that's not my department. Sorry.
So the way you just described it, it's learning to have a good dolphin kick has kind of been a lifelong process?
Yeah, and I think it extends beyond just like, oh, just be a surf bum when you're a kid. No, it's like we do. I've been doing the same warm up because Durden has experience at Nova, and I grew up swimming at Nova, and then Mission Viejo happens to do the same warm up. So I've done almost the same warm up every day of my life. It's 400 flop, 400s, and 450s, and I know it doesn't sound like any novel.
Wait, say that again. Say what the warm up is.
It's just 400 flop, 100s on 130, and 450s. 444. I think like it's like the most universal. Any coach I've ever worked with has known what it's meant, and it's crazy. But like in that 400 flop, I'll do open turns and push off and go to 15 easy and slow. And I just think, I think that's the secret right there. It's like just do it and warm up, and just get comfortable with and get comfortable going into workout. Like, okay, I can go to 15 off every wall really easily 16 times. Like, okay, I can probably do it a couple times in a set and just keep going off from there. And just if you do it every day in warm up, like you're not going to be comfortable doing it in workout. And that's just the way it's always been. And I know this, it's not novel. It's not a secret. It's not just, oh, do this little thing differently. It's just, everyone's got a different body. Everyone's got different lengths from their feet to their knees, from their knees to their hips, from their hips to their shoulders, from the shoulders to the hands. So I can't be like, oh, do it like me, because not everyone has my. But I feel and I think that if every person, just did it in warm up, I feel like America's or everyone's underwaters would just be better, because it's like it's just a comfort thing. It has to be.
Do you think there's anyone in the world that has as good underwaters as you?
Well, yeah, I think the 100 back at the end of the day is a good test of that. And there's 6 guys ahead of me, so easily those guys. Definitely Lochte. That guy.
You think Lochte has better underwaters than you?
Well, yeah, you saw him. There's that video of him throwing down that 20 guy. I've never done that. It would be fun to race him, but
that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a Swimming World TV made for Swimming World TV event here. I think that could be fun. Just a 50-meter underwater.
Yeah, let's wait a year. But, yeah, I'm down.
I think Lochte would agree with that.
Yeah. No, and I think that Texas guy who threw down that 50. It was suited or whatever, but still, that's a really fast 50 under. And I think there's a lot of great underwater athletes out there. I definitely would love to be considered, one of the best. I really think it would be hard to find that because, there's so like underwater is like swimming. There's differences. Like if you're going 50 meters underwater, like your 200 backstroke world record holder is gonna be pretty good at that one. Like, but if you're going to 15, it's like, well, like Nathan beats me at 15 every time underwater. So like it's just there's different types of underwater swimming as far as swimming. So there's not just going to be one fast underwater swimmer, because there's so many different aspects to underwater swimming as there is to swimming.
We talked to Giles Smith earlier in the week here on the Morning Swim Show, and I said, look, you're great underwater too. You're a great college swimmer already, but a lot of people will say you're not going to be an Olympian with that stroke and with just great underwaters. And I asked him if he was okay with that, and he said absolutely not. The same question would obviously apply to you.
Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I think Giles is a fantastic long course swimmer. He beat me. I think he went 52.5, 52.4. I watched him swim at nationals while I was getting ready to go to WUGS, and it was a great, fantastic underfly. So I think like his shots are just as good as anybody else's. And then with me, and I have the same thing as Giles, is like we do tend to be short course guys, and Durden keeps telling me, or Coach Durden keeps telling me, a fast swimmer is a fast swimmer, and it's regardless of what pool you put them in. And I'm trying to buy that, and long course has always been a bummer for me, and I don't think it's because it's long course. I just think it's the season, it's the summer, and
I'd rather be surfing.
Yeah, I just don't swim in the summer, and I think that's the main problem. Like I like racing and I like swimming fine, and it's like long course is cool, and it's just never been my thing, and I'm trying to make it my thing this time around. But we'll see. I can't say, oh, this is going to happen, or this is going to happen to Giles, or this is going to happen to this guy. Like, no one knows. Like, I think if there's anything this year's NCAA showed, is that like I can guess anything I want, but I can't tell you what's going to happen.
Hey, even if not, It's not a bad life traveling around the world, making good money, going to World Cup meets. Just ask Peter Marshall.
Yeah. There's Randall Ball did that, Peter Marshall did that, and that's definitely the plan. So we'll see what happens with that.
I can't believe you let a freshman beat you in the 2 fly.
It was not. There was no letting happening there. I closed as hard as I could. He is. I was talking to one of my teammates last night about it. He is just one of the fastest swimmers. Just so fast, and he just has that fire about him, and he's so fun to train with. He went, dude, and he went on that 125 wall. I haven't been able to see the video yet, but that's what I heard, and I didn't see him until the 150 wall, and I did everything I could, but. That dude can swim, and that dude can get into his walls, and I think that's where I heard I was beat. So, he earned it, and he's a fantastic guy.
It was pretty impressive. We're talking about Will Hamilton, your teammate, obviously, and I was there watching it on deck, and he's got amazing underwaters too, and the kid can just go. I mean, you were absolutely right. There was amazing performances by your freshman class.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just I love the tenacity from the whole class in general, and I think. And it's not just like, oh, the freshmen led us and did this, or like, oh, the coaches did this. So it's like, it was really, and it was a few individuals, igniting the fire, and they happened to be young, on the first night, and that was awesome. And it was formulated by this, this excellent senior class that we had at the meet. And I was, we were sitting back, I forget who I was talking to on the last night of NCAAs, but we were looking at the seniors, and this was this that got recruited by Dave. But when he started the season at Maryland, or pretty much, and then came over here with a couple weeks into the season, and this is the class he recruited, and we just look at how this class came together with Robbie as a transfer, who pretty much just emailed the coach and said, hey, I got in, can I come? And Matthias, came in, and Martin, who came in from Europe, and Nolan, who's just was just rock solid throughout his whole career, and he's he came in late in the spring, and just see this eclectic group of guys who just had such a weird journey to get here, but also at the end of their 4 years here, just rocked it and rocked the leadership, and it was really cool to see that happen, and their togetherness is what stemmed and what caused the freshmen's fire, and they just went nuts, and it was really fun to be a part of.
I talked to Coach Durden after the meet about this, and he said, you've learned to manage this meet better.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Well, okay, I'm on the 800 free relay, so that means it's -1, so I'm 13 swims in 3 days. No one swims in the morning for me on relays. I'm on, I try to do everything that I can, and that wears me down, as it would anybody. And I just think managing final starts at 7 or 8 or whenever it is. It's we're getting out of there 11:30. Especially post interviews, post drug testing, and all that. And we're trying to come back and swim session 5 the next morning, or session 3 the next morning, and that's just difficult. So it's trying to relax, between sessions, trying to get some actual. I think my freshman year I slept for 3 hours after the night of the 100 fly, just because I was just so stoked, and swam probably 4 in 2011. And this year I got a solid 6 or 7. And I think that's just they're continuing to get more rest, more sleep, more recovery. Last year also I focused on NCAAs from day one until NCAAs, and it was so hyped in my mind, and I just freaked out. And this year I did my best job of just not even thinking about it until I was on the blocks, really. I just do better when I just turn my mind off and race, and I think knowing that has helped me just prepare for the meet better. And then when I get to the meet, it helps me do better because I'm not as hyper thinking about it.
Well, Tom, of all the races that you swam, honestly, the one that will stand out to me is that 200 free on the 800 freestyle relay, because that showed your toughness. I was really impressed by that, because that is a long day. It was your 4th event of the night, and I know by then a lot of the guys are not exactly giving 100% on that relay, but I'm
trying to.
You guys almost won because of a 133 leadoff from you on your 4th swim of the night. That was tough.
I would say we almost won because of the other three guys. But
Well, everybody, but seriously, they could have been sunk if you had treated that, at 80%.
that's true from all of us though. Like that is 100% commitment required event. I was talking to Will a couple months before actually, and I was just trying to get him somewhat prepared. Nothing's going to prepare you for the 100-foot relay at night. If anyone's done it before, it's just a whole different sport. And that's what I kept telling Will. It's like, it's not swimming. Like, don't worry about what time you go. It's you're going to swim at 9:45 at night, like 2 hours after, finals of that 2 free. You're going to have some dinner in you. You're going to be dry, you warm up again. It's like a whole third session for the day. It's just a whole different monster, a whole different sport. And, I think, we attacked with it and we respected it that way. And I think that's why it turned out in our favor. To be honest, like getting second in that relay made it possible so that we lost. And we won one less relay this year, but we outscored our relay performances from last year because they interviewed relay. And that's just doing business. That's I think that was probably thematically the difference between this year's team and last year's team is, we won less, but we did better. And that's only possible at NCAAs, but, we made it work.
Well, Tom, I know that eventually, soon, you got to start focusing on trials, but you're a work hard, play hard guy. What's something you're doing or have done to celebrate that you can share on Swimming World TV?
Oh, yeah, no, of course. The Saturday before we left for NCs, I got in the mail a 4-3 wetsuit that I had ordered, a pretty thick wetsuit, so I could surf up here. And Rusty ordered a custom board from Rusty, and it had got here too, so I bought that, and then couldn't surf it because we were going to NCs. So throughout all NCs, I just used that as like my motivation to get through. And so I've been surfing that board a lot, and it's been really fun. That's what I've been doing, and me and some teammates are actually heading down to Santa Cruz today, and then we're hitting the pool tomorrow and getting back to work. So just a lot of good relaxing time with teammates and friends, to be honest.
Well, enjoy it, Tom. Thanks a lot, and congratulations on an amazing junior year.
Thank you.
All right, that's Tom Shields joining us in the Finis Monitor from Berkeley, and that is it for today's show. I'm Peter Busch, reminding you to keep your head down at the finish.